A very big warm welcome to everybody who's joined us this afternoon. Well, it's afternoon here, but we understand it's breakfast time elsewhere. Um, so pleased you could be with us. It always requires a bit of a memory, which is sometimes a struggle for me. But then I have Sheila, who is my mobile memory. So I can normally figure out these things. But a warm welcome. We don't know, of course, how many people are familiar with the game of wondering. So we hope that Sheila is going to tell you more about it, but we hope that you enjoy it as much as we do, and we truly do. We find it. I was talking about it before we came on, and I may say something else, but I think the first thing to do is for Sheila to give you an outline of how this is going to work, and then we may just plunge in. We'll see. But again, welcome.
Okay, well, what I thought we'd start with, or I would start with anyway, is well, first of all, to remind everybody that we have a retreat happening at the end of March here called the Viva Retreat. And Sue and I are co-hosting that together with our good friends. We've got Katie Finney, who's here with us today, and Maria Mayor, who both live very local to me here in Spain. So we're running a 4-day retreat at the end of March. And I suppose, yes, but I'm going to call it a download. I'm just going to say what it was.
Yeah.
These ideas come for, oh, we can play this game, we can do this, we can do that on the retreat. And so we wanted to offer these as a space, a place, gatherings where people who may be interested or maybe not, but love to play games, love to experience things, love to hang out together, because they're all the things that are on offer in terms of the retreat, like to connect with other people, want to step into the land of possibility, the unknown, even that scary place. And yeah, generally want to have some fun as well, because we like to keep things pretty lighthearted too. And so this is one of those, well, there's 3 of these. There's a series of 3. We had one just before Christmas called The Land of Possibilities. This is a game of wondering, and there'll be another one, I think it's on the 27th, that we'll be announcing. So one for the game of wondering is something that I think the very first time I experienced this was probably about 10 years ago, if not more. Some of you have perhaps played this game in the past. I love it so much because it's something that has had a big impact on my life. I actually wrote about it in a Facebook post yesterday. So Sue and I have run something called the Viva event for many years now, since 2015, I believe. It's a yearly event in Spain. And in 2020, when that strange thing happened to the world, we were unable to hold the Viva event in Spain. And I was on an online intensive with Michael Neal, something that was supposed to have been held in London, but had to go online. And he ran this game as one of his exercises. Yeah, and I was thrown into a room like what we're going to do with you soon, with 2 other people. And we were asked to bring forth something that we were perhaps having a challenge with, or we'd like to see something new and fresh about. And I was at that point in time brought forth the fact that we couldn't run Viva in person in Spain that year. And so the other 2 people that we'll be explaining the game in a minute were wondering for me about. One of them, and it's not that, and it was really interesting because it was not that I hadn't had the thought that we could do this online, that we could bring the Viva event online. I had that thought, but then lots of other instant thoughts about how difficult it would be, how complicated it would be, blah, 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 well, how would I do that? I haven't got the first idea, etc., etc. Would anybody even come? But when somebody brought forth that, and we were also asked to be open-hearted, open-minded, listen from that space. So when somebody said, well, I wonder if Sheila could take the Viva event online, something just went bing, and it really resonated with me. And it wasn't long after that I called Sue, messaged Sue and said, hey, what do you think? We'd already, I think we probably had a conversation about taking it online, and we were like, both like, that sounds like hard work and we don't fancy doing that. But I was so excited and so full of enthusiasm. And so I think it was a bit contagious for Sue. And it was like, okay, let's go for this thing. And so we did. In 2020, we actually took the Viva event that we've only ever done in person before, we took it online. And so for me, this game holds a special place in my heart because I felt the impact of it. I know the power of it. I know that it can be life-changing. I mean, that wasn't life-changing as such, but I don't know if it was actually, I just remembered, it was life-changing for somebody because the Viva event online, I'd forgotten all
Yes.
about that, is where we had our very first Viva romance happened. So somebody on there spotted somebody in a different country, and they won't mind if we even say who it is because it's very public. So Jason Shires and Elena, he spotted her and her beautiful green eyes in Norway and got in touch with her, and they're still together now. So you just never know what the ripple effect is of these things that happen, these new ideas that can suddenly land and go, okay, I'm going with that one. Yeah. And I think maybe that's a good place, Sue, for you to share your before I go in and explain how the game works, that your experience too of not that
Yeah.
long ago.
Yeah, so it's the very last time that I played this, and it was with people I didn't know at all. And I think what struck me was the impact. So when for those of you who know, this will make sense, but the person who brings forth a situation, a challenge, something they want to just talk about, basically, you would think that it was all about them. So two people listen, and then they feed back. But in fact, I was a listener in the first round, and I was so impacted by the effect and the impact it had on the person who brought forward this situation that it's for everybody in this. It's a triad, so it's very, very powerful for each one in it. It's not just for one of the people it's not for the person who is speaking entirely. It is for everybody. And I thought that was, and it stayed with me, the way that he responded. And it then occurs to me that I think part of that was because what he was discovering for himself was relevant for me. So the questions that we put to him, we wondered if you, for instance, that was a question I could have very well benefited from having asked of me. And I think it brought out this whole connection piece where you see that we have so much in common with each other. And it was a beautiful moment, really, for me. And so let's hope this afternoon, well, let's not hope, let's intend this afternoon to be full of beautiful moments for everybody.
Mm. And that is the beautiful thing, because we actually have absolutely no idea what's going to happen from one moment to the next moment, what's on offer, what's possible for each of us sitting here right now. What the idea of wondering, I mean, so this is something that we talked about. The idea of wondering is we're being open to the possibility. We are not looking for solving anything. I mean, that's a really important point. When we're being curious, we're not wanting to problem solve for anybody. So if somebody has an issue or challenge and they say, whatever it is, they say, look, I'm struggling with X, Y, and Z. I've got a problem with my health. It's this, da, 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 da. The idea isn't that we start coming up with, well, that happened to me, and this is what you could do. The idea is that we absolutely clear our minds of any ideas that we might have that we know what would work for them. We clear our minds and listen for, I'm going to use the word downloads, listen for wisdom, listen for nudges, listen for messages, and share those. And it always starts with, oh, I wonder if, so the person who comes with their issue, their challenge, there's something they just want to see more about, has in this game, they have 2 minutes. So it's timed, 2 minutes to share their whatever it is they want to share. I'm struggling with this and I want to see this, or I would love to create da 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 da, and I just don't know, like I did, I'm not sure what we could do about the Viva event. I'd love to be able to do something, but I don't know what it was. And then I talked a little bit about it for 2 minutes. So then that person, let's call them person A. Person A then mutes themselves and acts as if they're not there at all. And person B and C, the other two people in the room, then wonder as if that person's not there at all. I wonder if, let's say it was Sue, I wonder if Sue's thought about X, Y, and Z. I wonder if Sue knows how resilient she is. I wonder, and so we probably won't even know the people in the room as we do this, because we're going to randomly send you into breakout rooms. And there are definite feelings around what it feels like to wonder and be open and be curious. There's a feeling of expansion. There's a feeling of curiosity. There's a feeling of openness. There's a feeling of miracles. There's a feeling of, it's that real expansive feeling that I know wisdom, awe. Whereas when we're trying to problem solve the other way around, it's always about contracted feelings, frustration, irritation, lostness, overwhelmed, those sorts of feelings, overwhelmed, and it feels tight and contracted. So what we're looking for in this game is it's opening, like we're opening up. And so as Sue was saying earlier, even the wanderers, even though we're wondering for somebody else, we're in a really nice feeling. And that's what's so wonderful about this game is we're offering suggestions, we're wondering and just throwing stuff out there. And it could be really left field and feel like it has nothing to do with anything that person's just said. But I've been in rooms where people, and I've had this myself, like, I don't know what the color blue means, but that's what's coming to me. So I wonder what blue means to Sue. And it's just like, and you just don't know what that might mean to somebody else. So it's a lot of fun as well, because it's like, and then somebody will come back and go, do you know what, when you said blue, and they'll chuck it, they'll connect it to something, and it's like, oh, I had no idea that's what was going to happen. So the wandering takes place for 7 minutes. I'll be doing all the timing for this and send you messages through into your breakout rooms. And then the last 2 or 3 minutes are for the person A who then unmutes themselves, comes back and feeds back and says, and lets us know how it was. What did anything resonate? Did anything land? What, just give us an idea. And then we'll all come back into the main room and we'll have some sharing. So what we thought would be a good way, we would just do a quick demo to give you an idea of what this looks like. So Sue, Katie and I are going to demo this not for the full length of time, but for a minute, 3 minutes and a minute, something like that. Okay. And before we came on, I'm just getting who did we say was going? Oh, was it you, Sue, that was going to?
Yes, I volunteered, Sheila.
Volunteered. Thank you for volunteering. Thank you for volunteering.
I've probably got more problems. Make it easy.
Okay. So, Katie, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, brilliant. So we're going to pretend nobody else is here and none of you are watching us and none of you are seeing what we're doing. And Sue, go ahead for a minute and give us something for us to wonder about.
Well, it's a physical thing, a health thing. Since September, have been struggling with sciatica, which is got worse actually. In the beginning, I was quite sort of gung-ho about it. I thought, well, I don't get physical issues. I'm a really healthy person. This will go. And then it got a bit worse, and I kept thinking, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I kind of soldiered on, if you like. And then I've been through different phases with it where I haven't felt buoyant and I haven't felt okay. And I've had this journey, if you like, this journey. So it hasn't gone away yet. I said to Sheila, I've had some treatment today and I'm sort of cautiously optimistic. But what I would love to see is more around the learning about this. Why? Because my first reflection is I didn't listen to what my body was telling me. I thought I knew better. And I think I knew, I used, let's say, my understanding of thought, the power of thought. I used it against myself because I sort of thought, no, I don't have to think that. No, I don't have to think that. I'm going to think I'm going to be fine. And I can see there's some real gifts along the way there. And I've only just begun, I think, to see what those gifts are. I know that I feel strongly that they're there, and I feel that this has been a real learning for me, and I want to make the most of that. And maybe I should just sit back and relax and think, well, if there's learning there, it'll come to me. Wisdom will show itself, as it were. But I
Okay,
don't.
I'm just going to just
Okay,
because of our
that's fine.
time constraints. I didn't really want to cut you off, but because there were time constraints, I just want thank you. So off you go, Sue. So Katie and I are going to pretend you're not in the room, and we're going to wander for you. I'm setting my timer for 3 minutes. Okay.
Well, the first wonder that came to me was, I wonder what sciatica means. Like, what does that word mean?
I wonder if Sue realizes just how much is already seen. And I wonder if Sue knows how much she already knows.
I wonder if there's the connection between the body and the mind and the connection of everything. I imagine sciatica, and it looks like it goes through the body to me, and it's a great connector. And I wonder if there's something around connection.
Yeah, I wonder to use the word. I wonder about disconnect. I wonder where there's I wonder if there's a disconnect, and if there is a disconnect, if it's what is it trying to? She says, what is it trying to show her? Like,
And I wonder if she already knows, right?
yeah. I wonder if she knows what a good listener she is.
I wonder if she knows how big and light and deep her light heart is.
I wonder if she knows she doesn't need to find an answer. I wonder if she needs to find an answer. I wonder how playful she is around this. She says, trying not to look at Sue.
Yeah. I wonder about pressure.
Okay, our time's up. So Sue, you're welcome to come back and let us know for a minute.
Well, absolutely. There's so much there, actually. And some of it was a reminder of fleeting thoughts I've had. And one of the early fleeting thoughts I've had is I've always been afraid of becoming ill. Always. It's like a little silent companion. Oh, what would I do if I was ill? And I've always been hugely respectful, if you like, and I suppose a bit fascinated by people who are ill and who can bear it. And I think that there's a bit of me that, or can there be a bit of me? Well, let me just say that I think that I've actually doubted that I'd be able to bear it, whatever it looked like. And it feels like this is the very first time in my life, and I'm grateful for that I've had to, if you like, suffer. But also, do I need to know an answer? It feels more like I'm really, really curious. I think this is a fascinating experience to have had. And I probably won't say that at 7:30 when it's back with a vengeance, but at the moment in this space. And you know what was lovely, and I remembered this too, is like, what a special thing it is to have two people wondering about you. Oh gosh. I felt it felt like sort of kindness and care, and I could just speak freely without having to, have a beginning, middle, and end. I could just blah, blah, blah. And so thank you.
Beautiful. And so I love that. So it's something I forgot to mention in my sort of explanation of it is, it may be that the person A hears something, but it has absolutely nothing to do with anything that the two wanderers had said. That's perfectly possible too. Just being in that state of openness and open-hearted and open-minded, we are going to hear things that we've never heard before. Okay, right, very cool. So my job now is to set up some breakout rooms. I don't know, Sue, if you have anything you want to add while I count people up. How many people?
No, but I would decide fairly quickly when you get into your room who is going to be person A, because you don't want to be kind of spending a lot of time figuring that one out, because it's valuable whether you're A, B, or C. And actually, to be called A, that's very strange. Person A, and enjoy it really. And when that last thing you said to me, Sheila, I wonder how playful Sue has been about this. 0.
Oh.
No, I haven't seen any playfulness in this at all, and that's really thought-provoking for me.
Okay, good. Right, well, I've set us up with 3 people, and I'm just checking the people in the rooms to make sure. Well, I'll see. So you'll be sent to a breakout room with 2 other people, so there'll be 3 of you, and you'll receive messages at the 2-minute mark, at the 7-minute mark, and then to bring you back into the room. So you don't need to keep time. I'll be sending messages, so the messages will appear on your screen. So if you can respect the time, that would be really helpful, so everybody gets what they are here for. And if we have time, we'll do it again, so we can change seats if you like. So
I don't know if you saw the note, but Paul O'Connell and Laura Kersey can't do it.
Okay, no, I didn't see that. I
Okay.
won't be able to talk. Thanks so much. So let me see where they are. Let me see where they are. Paul O'Connell. Don't think he's in a room anyway. And Laura. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to send you off, and then I'll see what happens, and I can shuffle people around. So if you end up in a room with 4 of you, it doesn't appear to be that way, but there's only 2 of you. One of us will step in. Okay. All right. Have fun. See you later. Oh, and stop the recordings.
Oh yeah.
So I'd love to hear from anybody who would like to share anything about that experience, anything at all.
I'm happy to share if you like.
Yeah, go Rose.
There were just the 2 of us, and I'd like to say thank you to Kristen. I was busily making notes of her wandering, which was rather amazing, and there were lots of things she had to say that I had forgotten about, and some clarification, because I was thinking of moving to Spain again. I was thinking of it before, and then I abandoned it, and now I'm thinking of it again. And she was saying it doesn't have to be forever, that it could be as an experiment. And that just gave me a huge sense of relief, thinking, oh yeah, it's like, instead of it being a big massive decision, it could just be a test.
Nice.
Yeah.
How was it for you, Kristen?
Yes, it was really nice as a game, and I just sort of was free flowing, things just coming in, trying to clear my thoughts of, because I've made a big move, so trying to clear my past of what I did, what went wrong, what went well, whatever, just kind of thinking, connecting with her, connecting with her heart, and just letting my intuition kind of come to the surface. So yeah, it felt very easy and natural. It was
Right.
nice.
Well, thank you two for doing it on your own. This is just two of you. There's two in another room, so where else I could have put you together if I'd have seen quick enough. But yeah, you made it work. Well done.
We did, yeah.
Anybody else?
I'll go if nobody is. I loved how effortless the wondering can be, because it was listening and not, oh, we're going to have to figure this out together. We've got to solve this. And so without that, it's just light, effortless, playful. It really doesn't matter. It's just exploring, right? And then it was useful to notice the power of it.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, but I mean, it is. I think it's I think it's mind blowing. It's how simple it is, how accessible it is, how close we are to. I don't know if I want to call them answers, but ideas, possibilities, new opportunities, fresh, unseen, unknown things that are there just sort of at our fingertips, and then somebody comes along and goes, how about all these things, and sprinkles them, and they're all there for you in front of you, as if like it's like a gift, all these gifts just being showered in front of you, and it's like, wow. I think you may have heard them before, and like Rose said, I'd forgotten about those things, and it's a reminder of something you may have thought before, and it can be something fresh and new that you've never heard before. But I think the point of it is just how close we are to all possibility, all potential, really.
I think it's my experience has always been that to have all of the pressure removed, whether you're wondering or you're the person A. I can't think what to call person A, so it's going to remain person A. And it feels delightful. I mean, I'm a collaborator anyway. I'm much better with surprisingly, Sheila, with a partner, and I find that really a creative environment for me. But I also recognize there were just moments where I thought, I'm going into mode of, here's a suggestion. So it was good for me to see that again. That's not what we're here for. We're not really here to, as Dominic said, there's nothing about fixing this. And I think there's that fine line. And yeah, so it's good to see that again, because I want to be in this mode for other people in just day-to-day life. I do not want to keep slipping into, well, why don't you do this? And that's where pressure, for me, that's where pressure occurs. So it's beautiful not to have that, just to have people wondering about what you've said. I mean, yeah, I'm a fan.
And also what came up for me just then is like, we've given by being person A, we've given permission as well.
Yes.
And in real life, whatever that means, people offer us their suggestions left, right, and centre, and problem solve and solution offer without permission at all too. And so this is a lovely way of going into a situation whereby you're giving maybe strangers permission to just wander for you and see what occurs. It's such a beautiful gift, actually. It really is. Really.
Can I say, in our group, our person A said at the end, and I thought it was a lovely thing that she said and experienced, that she felt lighter.
Oh.
And actually, it does feel so playful. Serious matters, but that there's a playfulness. You see, I don't know, I just noticed that there's infinite potential for what's going to come up, right? But hear her say, I feel lighter, was lovely.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I think that was something perhaps Sue you said earlier before the group joined us, like that's something you would like people to take away, that they would feel lighter. And what else was it you were saying? You were saying some lovely things before we opened the door.
About the impact, wasn't it? But I think that whole notion of you can have this interior experience there's no windows. It doesn't feel like there's any windows or fresh air, and it's almost like you invite people to be your windows and fling them open, and then it is infinite, isn't it? But I've conscious in my life, I don't think I've ever had truly inspirational things by working at anything, but this is a permission just to kind of let's go and play in the land of wonder, because it's all there.
Janine, did you?
Hi.
I
I just wanted to say I chose to be person A because I was kind of afraid that I might try and offer help. I want to switch that side of myself off. But what I wanted to say about being the person A, I felt these two people I'd never met before. I felt so cared for, so loved immediately with whatever they said. That was the most impactful. I got quite emotional. It just was such a beautiful space to be in.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, that we can go into a room with people we've never met before and feel that. I mean, isn't that just beautiful to experience that so quickly? I love it. Thank you for sharing that, Janine. Is there anybody else that'd like to share, or would you like us to have another round of this where you could try a different position? You could be person B or C or A, whichever. Because we've got time.
Can you review the time intervals?
What do you mean review? What do you mean?
Like how long person A and then the after?
2, 7, 2. 2 minutes, 7 minutes, 2 minutes.
Oh, so it's one person A only talking. I mean, only one person is person A in the whole time.
No. Person A speaks for 2 minutes and shares, just as we did with the demo. Sue was person A. She shared what she wanted to see more about.
So she'll do it for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Katie and I wandered, and that would be for 7 minutes.
Okay.
And person A says nothing. And then person A comes back at the end and shares for 2 minutes what they heard or what was helpful for them.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And I hope you're seeing my messages. I am sending through.
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Good. So I can recreate those rooms. How many are we? 9, 27, 3, 9. That doesn't include me. So let's try 8 rooms this time and see what happens. And I'll do my best to shuffle. Let me see who's. We've got 4 in 2 rooms. And 3 in the rest. So if you're a 4. Well, no, I can tell. Let me take Sue out.
Oh, I've been rejected.
Well, actually, I'm going to move somebody to room 3. And you just don't go into the room, Sue. So there'll be 1 4. Except somebody's.
There's somebody else.
But she didn't want to be in it anyway. So
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to send you all to your rooms and we'll see what happens, and I'll shuffle. If you need any help, let me know. I'll stop the recording soon. Or pause it. All right, I've pressed my button. Okay, let's bring Susan in. Welcome back. Okay, Sue, over to you.
Yes, so we'd love to hear from anybody who would like to share whether you were A, B, or C, and how the session went for you.
I will.
Oh, well done.
I was person A and I absolutely loved it. Because the thing I shared was something I wanted to create, and I think I just had got in such a blinkered point of view with it. But I find it just so light and playful, and it just made me a whole lot more curious about a totally different way of doing it, totally reframing it. so yeah, I found it incredibly useful and encouraging. So it was great. Thank you.
Oh, well done. That's great news. And who would anyone, either of the other two people, like to say how it was for them? Don't know who you were with.
Yeah, I can talk.
Okay.
I was with Julie. I find it so lovely to be person, whatever person I've been BNC, but just the encouragement to do, open up and listen to what comes up, and it comes so clearly, and just sharing the love. Yeah,
Yeah. I think
it's
that's,
so heartwarming.
oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. Certainly can echo that myself.
Amita, that's beautiful. That really is beautiful.
Yeah.
You're sharing the love, because I'm assuming you didn't know the people in the room before you got there. Wow. Just to make, I mean, that is
Magic.
it really is, isn't it? It really, really is.
Yeah.
How blessed are we? We really
Yeah,
are
for
able to
sure.
experience that. And how about you, Zia?
Oh, it was just lovely. It was lovely. Julie's just got the bestest idea ever. If she does it, I tell you, it's just genius. But it was just your face actually, as we got back to the third part, Julie, your face was just lit up. It was just so lovely. And I love that no, it didn't feel like we had to keep talking. There would be lots of silence in between. Just feels like we've had a really deep conversation with some lovely gaps as well. Honestly, your idea is great. I'm very excited about it.
Okay, Julie, are you up for sharing it publicly, or are we going to wait? Do you want to copyright it and register it first?
Well, yes, Meta sort of said what you verbalize, you put it out there, the universal, so maybe I should. But yeah, I would love to do some sort of retreat with around the whole mind-body connection and bringing the three principles and the body together. Obviously, Sheila, that's my passion. So yeah, I think I just had a very blinkered view of doing a really high level retreat, and then that would put me off because I would think, oh, the deposit you have to pay for somewhere like that and the number of people you have to get to go on the course or on the retreat just to break even is like too much. So I would just like walk away from it. So yeah, it was just a lovely conversation with the two ladies in my group, and I just think just talking about it will help to firm up in my mind what it would look like, and it just helps me to reframe it and look at it from a different angle. So yeah.
Brilliant. It's
Thank
funny that I was just thinking the two voices, in a way, just a reinforcing wisdom, it seems to me, because they're not going to come up with any of that other stuff. Like, well, I'm wondering if that's too hard for Julie. That's not going to come into the mind. It's seeing all the possibility, isn't it? That sounds wonderful. So weird. There's how many witnesses? 28 witnesses. We're all going to bring that to being. And it reminds me a bit of when we first took that first step in 2015 towards Viva. If we had listened to the doubts, well, actually, that's not even true, because it didn't feel like we had doubts. I think we just got a free passage through. There was one or two moments where we did a bit of reckoning and thought, oops, that looks quite serious. And then we just thought, I'm not interested. I don't know, I think that you share that, Sheila. Is that right from the beginning? We were blessed with this kind of passage through to creating something, because I think we so totally believed that it was time for it to be born. That's my memory.
Yeah.
Sticking to it.
I love what Elin shared in the comments, sharing the love also with people you've never met. That's what Viva Spirit is for me. And I agree totally. Yeah. Viva Spirit. Thank you. We're going to coin that phrase, Elin.
Yeah.
Spirit. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Is there anybody else that would like to share about their experience before we wrap up for today? Whether you're a wanderer, whether you're a sharer, did you hear How did it feel?
Yeah.
Yes, Anne?
Yeah.
In a strange sort of way, I found I could be more gently provocative. I think it was something I said about, now we age. And probably if I was in a one-to-one coaching situation, it would have been too personal and sensitive. But somehow, because we were wandering in the sort of nebulous way, I was able to mention something that I perhaps wouldn't have before. So although it was the love, I also think you can be gently more provocative by wandering. I don't know if anyone else noticed that.
Mm. I love that word, provocative. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
I liked that part, but I didn't take offense to it, and I thought that it was actually perfect, a perfect reflection. Yeah. It was like, well, yeah, of course, of course it's gonna take longer. I was talking about back pain that I've had from a long flight that normally I recover rather quickly in a couple days, and this time it's lasting a lot longer. And, the reflection was like, well, you're not as young as you used to be. And that was totally right. Really, really was. And to be blessed for all of the quicker recoveries in past long flights that I could bounce back a lot easier. Being grateful for that in the past.
Correct.
Isn't it wonderful how easy it is to be there for somebody else? I mean, it was almost, I don't know if it's helpful, but just be there for somebody, be present for somebody else, and offer, make invitations and just offer and suggestions that are not specific, but are sort of light-hearted and open and loving and caring. I just think it's beautiful.
Yeah. And it brings forth that, doesn't it? It just it's part of this whole natural thing. Claire, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it felt like a total privilege. I was listening both times and wondering, and also that how many of the things I said were things that I probably needed to kick myself up my own backside with, because everybody's a mirror, aren't they? And I said that a few, oh gosh, I was thinking, oh, you need to say that to yourself, Claire. It was like most of the things I said, I need to be reminded of. So I think it's showing that oneness, I think, that's there all the time. That we're not all separate people. We're all one person, one entity having all these beautiful human experiences, but it just showed that to me, really, that we all need to hear the same things most of the time.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree with you. A number of times that I've played this, there's been no exception when I haven't thought, oh, okay, that's for me too. And I'm guessing that's how wisdom works. If you won't say it to yourself, say it to somebody else. So oh yes, Rose.
I just wanted to say I was blessed in that I got to be both times.
Oh.
And I'd like to thank everybody. I felt slightly guilty about it, but they'd already gone or didn't have anything to do, and I had two issues in the morning, and it had I got another. It was just so lovely to hear all the different perspectives, and from people that were a lot younger than me as well. And I just thought, oh yeah, it's that some of these are not relevant at all, and they managed to combine both for me. So it kind of became instead of two separate issues, it was just about moving on in life and moving on with love and joy, being quite crucial. So yeah, thank you for setting this up, and thank you to everybody I was in a group with. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Very welcome. I feel like this is something that people should do at least once a month or once a week or something. It's like this should be a prescription for us. I'm going to who needs pills? We can do this. Something like that. Anyway. shut
I
up.
suppose we've just got a couple of minutes now. We'd just like to really conclude by thanking everybody, but also just to reiterate that our passion and our vision is certainly coated with playfulness, and anyone that knows us probably would have seen that. But also when we're talking about the retreat, it is this feeling that's, I think, come forth this afternoon, that we really we feel we want more of that, and to create a retreat that's just with 12 people in order for us to come together and have time. I mean, that whole thing about time is, for me, feels really important. When we were asking each other, well, what's important to you? What would inspire you to create a retreat? And I put that little Facebook part of the extract from our conversation, and it was, for me, one of the first things was to say yes, not to going to something. And I felt that, well, I'm not going to be the only person that has struggled in the past to give myself something. I'd rather give it to someone else. And so I recognize that just saying yes to something is really important. And the whole retreat is about saying yes to the longing, yes to the curiosity, yes to the trust, yes to the adventure of it. And this gathering just seems to reinforce that for me, that people come into this because there is a love that wants to be shared. There is a connection that wants to be felt and expressed. And I'm with Sheela, and I'd happily do this once a month. Although we've got 2 other things in the pipeline that's going to be once a month. So, so over 4 days on the retreat, our emphasis, I believe, will be to really create a space and to create time and space for people to really get curious and to really open up, and we'll be together in this. People will be helping other people to say, I want, you know, and that's that thing, isn't it? I wonder if, because it is expansive. I love that word, expansive. It's going to bring in that fresh thinking and that fresh impulse that can sometimes lie dormant for a long time. We hope that when those people who choose to join us will really soak in that, and there's time to soak in that, and there's also time to play as well. Not obviously, we're not going to play silly games or anything like that, but we play together, and that word enjoyment and that word playful has come up a couple of times in this, and I think sometimes we forget that's what we have. It's an impulse within us, I think, that can be coaxed a little, and we can be reminded of it. And when we let that sort of surface, there's no doubt it's just the best thing. Anyway, would you want to share the link,
I
Sheela?
already have.
You already have, of
In
course.
the chat while you were speaking.
Yes.
Beautifully. Well, thank you everybody for being with us. We've loved hanging out with you. I've loved hanging out with you, even though I wasn't any. I was a bit jealous not being in a room, I'll be honest. But yeah, somebody had to time keep and send the messages. It's been an absolute pleasure to see so many familiar faces and see some new ones too. Thank you for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you hopefully on the next one, if not at the retreat. Yeah, so take care, everybody. Lots of love, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.